Hey, everybody. Stu Smith here going live. Hope you are well. Tuesday morning. That means we're doing a CSS critique show. But while you guys congregate, we're going to chat a little bit about not skipping mobility day. In fact, we're doing two this week, and it makes for a great um, deload week if you do it this way. So, highly recommend it. Check out that little article there. It's called Don't Skip Mobility Day. And it's truthfully one of the easiest workouts you'll do and one of the best workouts you'll do. But it's also difficult. And what I mean by that is it can be painful when you are pushing mobility and flexibility. Now, you don't want to push to a painful situation, but you do basically 5 minutes of cardio followed by 5 minutes of stretching or foam rolling, working out little sore spots. That is painful. And, but it goes away. And then when you walk out of the gym, you're like, holy crap, this feels awesome. And then you top it off with a little swim, some treading workouts. Um, and you're talking about feeling really good with just your overall health and wellness. Like I literally walk out of a mobility day and can truly say, as I'm walking to my truck, I can say, man, I don't feel any pain right now. Nothing hurts. My lungs are open. Man, this is awesome. No stiffness, no soreness, nothing. That's a good thing. If you can do that, it's a really good thing. But anyway, if you check out the article, you'll see some of our tools of the trade that we use with some of the foam rollers and car buffers and massage tools, things that we use to roll out our feet. And then there's some drills in the water that you can also do with basically just all the dynamic stretches that you would normally do prior to an athletic event, you do in chest deep water. Life changing, I'm telling you, life changing. So I recommend it. So this week we're doing mobility days on Tuesdays and Thursdays, just as our deload week. Tomorrow's going to suck though. We're doing a little track workout that is not going to be easy because we're focusing on shorter, faster paces versus longer runs and timed run events. These are more in the speed agility genre or elements of fitness, if you will. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Check it out. It's a real quick intro. Looks like there's some questions popping up. I do have several videos I want to show you guys too, so I'll walk through some of those as well. In a second, but let's take a few questions. Jackson saying he ran a 9:47 mile and a half yesterday, which is a huge PR for me. Currently at a law enforcement academy. Nice. 6'3", 200 pounds. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Good job. And I tell you what, when you PR, it's great. So great job. Applying for civilian to CRO selection and haven't gotten the recruiter to respond to emails. Should I text him what I wrote in my email or better to call? Wasn't sure. I'll be honest with you. I'm not 100% sure. Like, they may have changed it to go civilian to CRO. I thought you had to be in the Air Force first before you can go CRO. Like, the only guys I think that they're taking CRO are academy guys or ROTC guys, I think. So there have been some gray area on that. They used to do it, then they didn't. Maybe they're bringing it back. I don't know. You might be having an issue. I would walk in there, to be honest with you, and just get a face to face with them and Make sure you can do that. Go to the CRO websites and message boards and ask around, because it may be an issue to go from officer training school straight to CRO. You might have to be in another job first and transfer in. Ever have any cat or Secret Service guys at your group? Yes, we have. In fact, my son is actually thinking of doing um, Secret Service training or FBI. He's doing criminology and terrorism classes and things like that in college. So he's thinking one of the federal law enforcement groups. Let's see. Tristan says there's still no, there's still civilian applications as of the past year and upcoming year. Only reason I asked is the nearest recruiter is ours, and I have to rent a car to drive up. Mine is old. Well, then that poses a problem. I would probably try to call first in that situation. So, long as there are still civilian applications, then I think you're fine. Just, sometimes getting in touch with recruiters is challenging. Jackson says, do the STAR program. It's for recent graduates. Yeah, he's still a junior right now. Yeah, I'll look that up. STAR program. Uh, Special Agent Talent and Achievement Recruiting. Interesting. All right. Cool. Yeah, I'll send that to him. Thank you, Jackson. I appreciate it. All right. Hey, while you guys think of some questions, why don't I go ahead and share what I got queued up here? All right. So we're going to kick off the wall. So far, this looks like a pretty good kickoff. Let's see what happens out of it. That's good. Top arm, bottom arm. Oh, okay. What'd you see there? Did you guys see it? Okay, notice the bottom leg is going forward, top leg's going backwards. So basically, this tells me he is swimming on his weak side just to face me, which I think is fine. I appreciate it. But you have to remember your top leg always goes forward. Otherwise, you're doing the same kick on your strong and weak side. And the reason why you change sides is to change your top arm pull and to change your kick. Otherwise, why even switch sides and be awkward? But watch this. So top arm, bottom arm, kick. I think he may be over gliding too. Let me see. One Mississippi, two Mississippi, three Mississippi, four. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to count to four. And you see how his back is just plowing the surface there? That surface tension is slowing him down tremendously each stroke. So over gliding is a loss of momentum. And um, um, the gliding on the surface, plowing the surface is also slowing you down. Now, check this out. He cleans it up on this side. Notice he's facing me. So this is his strong side. And watch what happens. His kick is fixed. Amazing. But he's still over gliding. So, and it looks like he's not quite, yeah, he's over gliding. So it looks like he's kicking here, kicking and already on his belly before he closes his legs. So he's losing some power in the kick. One Mississippi, two Mississippi, three Mississippi, four Mississippi. Yeah, five. I shouldn't be able to count that many Mississippis. You should be pulling on three. So I think that's the problem. The reason why you are slow is because you are over gliding, and that's causing your back to pop up like this and then just stop you in your tracks. Boom. Right. There you go. That's a good one. Good lesson learned there, I think. Let me see what else we got here. I got a bunch of others. today. You guys might like some of these. Let's see what this one's like. All right. So I will show you guys this one in a second. Let's take a question over here. I hear a lot of people getting mentors for Spec Ops selection. What do they do, and how do people usually get in contact with them? It's usually, if it's a program in the Air Force, they have a program where it goes through your instructor, or sorry, your recruiter. They put you in touch with people who are testing you, but you may have a good group where they actually do some training as well versus just testing. In the Navy, they used to have mentor programs where they'd actually have SEALs, former SEALs, be mentors to all these guys. Then they would do two things: they would test them on like every 2 weeks, and they would train with them if they were in their region. Now, unfortunately, sometimes these mentors had to bounce around a recruiting district, so they weren't in your area every time that they were doing training. You'd have to travel to them, or um, you just had to wait until they were in your area so you could go to their training. But every 2 weeks, they were testing you. So don't think of it as you're going to have somebody you can call up on the phone and just shoot the shit with and talk about spec ops. It's not what it is. It is basically someone whose job is to test you to see if you have what it takes to get into the training. Hip sinking. Yes, his hips were sinking. Now let's check this one out. This one's pretty good too. So that's what happens whenever you overglide, your hips start sinking. But overgliding's the problem. All right. So we kick
All
off
right,
the
good.
wall. Nice.
Streamline.
That
This
is a
is
powerful
this is the
kickoff. Look at
streamline you
that.
need to
I'm having
practice
to
for
run
sure.
to keep up with him. This is awesome.
Top
Top
arm,
arm, bottom
bottom arm,
arm.
kick,
Kick.
and glide. Come on.
Oh, I think I've shown this one.
2.
Yeah, I picked up
What's
one
that?
that I've
3,
shown already. This is a good kick.
4.
Now he's doing more of a breaststroke kick,
Still gonna
and
be
he's a
fast.
swimmer, so he's got a perfect streamline.
So let's see if he gets
All
a
that
glide
is
in here.
really tight streamline.
So
Tight
top
streamlines
arm, bottom arm.
will get you
One
away
Mississippi,
with a
2
lot of
Mississippi.
stuff.
Pull. There you
Top
go.
arm,
Good.
bottom arm, kick. Now you notice his kick's a
Pull.
breaststroke kick versus a scissor kick. And he just did that 50
Boom.
in
There.
40
All right,
seconds
good.
compared to the other guy took a minute.
This is the
and
streamline you
3
need
seconds.
to practice for sure.
Now this is a
Arm, bottom arm,
25-yard pool.
kick
That
and
other
glide.
pool
Come
may
on.
have been a 25-meter pool,
2.
which adds
that,
4
3?
yards to it. So it could be an issue there. Let me see if I can find some that I took today because I didn't see all of them. I may have to show it up on it. My TikTok. All right, see, master the pace. Let's see what we got here. So I'm going to show you guys this one as soon as I get it pulled up. All right, this is the one I wanted to show you guys. Oh man. All right, I'll show that in a minute. Okay, so in your experience, do SEAL officers have more overall job satisfaction than other communities? I don't know. Be honest with you, that's a good question. My advice for finding that answer would be to see who stays in for a full 20 years. What groups have the highest stay in the Navy rate to retirement, the highest retirement rate? That'd be an interesting one to find. Because overall, in all the military, only 17% of the military stays in for a full 20 years. So it'd be real interesting to see out of the communities who has the biggest retirement of all of them? I don't know that answer. I don't know if we can find that answer, but my first recommendation is Google it, see if you can find it. Let's see. John says, haven't met them yet, but most of the PT and tests are an hour and a half away with a couple in my area per month. That is very typical. Is that Navy or Air Force? Oh, never mind. I see. Morning, Stu. Taking my first PST tomorrow, and it seems like it's still the case for Navy mentorship. Yep, that's the way it is. And they're not former Navy SEALs anymore. They are regular Navy people who have been taught by Spec War to administer the PST. Every now and then you may have a former diver or not a former, an active duty SEAL, diver, or SWIC guy in your as a recruiter. If you do, you just struck gold because not all recruiting districts have that. So just be thankful that you do, because that will be very helpful for you if you do. If you don't, just know it's pretty much you're just going to be tested, and you're not going to really be doing mentorship with a spec ops guy. So it's a misnomer, be honest with you. All right, let me share the screen again. All right, so if you guys haven't seen, this is my TikTok page over here. And if you're looking for CSS critique videos, this is where they are, right? And it's one-stop shop over there. Well over 100. Might even be a couple hundred by now.
Hey,
all right, so here we go. Good kick off the wall, double arm pull.
Here's a good kick off the wall.
Transitions. This is really good. This is one of those
bottom arm kick, hold
less than 50-second 50s that I like to get people to do.
Let's see, pull, breathe, kick.
So we got top arm, bottom arm.
I like it. This is
kick,
fast too.
Hold that glide.
You're looking at a 7:30
remember me talking about the overglide there? Let's count this guy's glide, because he doesn't overglide. Double arm pull,
my advice would be actually slow it down on
top
your first
arm,
few
bottom
laps
arm,
when you take a
kick,
500
one Mississippi,
yard
two
swim,
Mississippi.
because you can swim a
1 Mississippi, 2
42
Mississippi,
second
pull.
50,
Yeah.
but my
Mississippi,
advice
two
is slow it down to
he's
about
pulling
50
on
seconds and maintain that pace.
So you can see he's not losing any momentum, not wasting any momentum either. Because he just hit that in 47 seconds, which is sub 8-minute swim.
CSS critique here,
so
and
that
good kick off the wall, really transitions nicely.
Let's just watch it again.
Top arm, bottom arm kick, hold the glide.
Top arm, bottom arm kick.
There you go.
Hold the glide.
Let's see, pull, breathe, kick.
Now, the one thing you can see what he does not do that the other guy did that was really slow is he doesn't roll over on his belly. You don't have to. The only reason why I recommend rolling over on your belly is if your shoulders plowing the surface.
Down on your first
like if you notice his, he's under the water during the glide here.
42 seconds.
And then he comes up. As soon as that shoulder hits the surface, he pulls.
Slow it down to about 50
That's
seconds.
fine. That's like a freestyle.
And maintain that pace, and you'll wind up being a minute faster in the 500.
That's some of my best work coaching in there. He's one of our local guys. All right. Well, I tell you what, we can show another one. This one's a drill I want to show you guys, because a lot of times people have very difficult time kicking. So this is how we do it. We actually practice scissor kick on a kickboard for 25 yards. So if you haven't seen the article called Fix Your Kick, you should check it out, because this is what it's all about. In fact, I'll find it for you. Fix your kick right here.
Push hard with that back leg. There you go. All right, now let's try
the way this works is he does 25 yards with that, and then he does a 50-50. So now he's doing.
So this is basically
I like
25-25 with.
Okay, yeah. So he's doing a freestyle
drill added to it. So
I like to have it
75-yard set
right after it.
You're doing
and then do the 50.
25. yards with a kickboard, 25 free,
50-50.
25
I think
CSS.
since this is his first time, I think I had him doing the 25-25.
Again,
So we did
repeat
25
it, total
with
of 10 times.
kickboard, 25 freestyle, and now he's going to
CSS.
go back and do 25 CSS. After him dying
Whip kick
on the freestyle,
boom, nice,
because he's a new swimmer, I actually had him change it up, and we did 25 with a kickboard, 25 CSS, then 25 freestyle.
Good.
Then catch your breath. That seemed to work a little better for him. All right, another question. Planning on using your Air Force 50-50 as my main swim workout in the upcoming swim focus block for CRO. Should I increase the number of rounds? IFT's 1500 swim. If so, how many would you recommend? Yeah, I would at least get yourself used to swimming 1500 to 2000, no problem. With fins, without fins, you know, whatever your test is going to require, I would definitely swim that distance in your workout with a little more than. Like, put it this way, that 50-50 workout is really kind of designed for the 500, and I have everybody swimming 1500 for the 500. To get in shape for a 1500, you need at least 1500, but you should probably go anywhere between 1500 and 2500 in your distances. My advice would be to try the 50-50, see how that works, then turn the 50-50 into 100-100 and do that 10 times. That's kind of the next step for you to do. Let's see. Let me share screen again here. Oh, man, I lost everything. Shoot. Here we go. And I tell you what, the videos that I sent myself this morning did not go through. Not sure what's wrong here. Maybe I need to update it. Ah, I see what's happening. Some of them are still sending. They're coming. Not sure why that's the case, but they're coming. All right, so send me some questions. We can wait a little bit for these guys to finish downloading into my section here, because I just downloaded them from my phone. All right, I think they came through now. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right, let's do it. Next question looks like, do I have any specific articles or videos regarding how to create less drag during swimming? Yeah, that's called streamlining, and it is the number one most important skill to swimming. In fact, that's the name of the article. Swimming, streamline, number one most important skill for speed swim. Read this article. Boom. Streamline. Easy day. There's some good videos in that article too for you. Let's see. Morning stew. How should dudes prep for lamb portage? Maybe crush rucks on and neck exercises. Yes, we do a thing called 6-minute necks. Um, boats and logs. Let's see. Boats, logs, Stu Smith. Like I wrote an article called "Building Neck Strength for Running Boats." Um, written a couple of them. How to strengthen your neck for carrying boats on heads. Yeah, so I got multiple things to read on this one. The one we do is called 6-minute neck, and it's a really good one. It's really basic. You don't even need weights. You just use your melon as your neck, doing up and downs, side to sides, yes and no's, laying on your back and laying on your belly. You'll be surprised. You know, you do 40, 50 reps of each. It's really tough and way to build your neck safely versus putting a lot of load on it. But yeah, you also need to prepare your legs for that too, which we do that by rucking on soft sand, but we also run hills. We run bleachers. We do weight vests on stair steppers. All are really good ways to prepare yourself for that um, event that is load bearing on soft sand. Um, Thank you for the 100. Would you keep it 25-meter underwater than 75? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, 25 meters don't change for the underwaters, and then you do the hard freestyle. Just add it. But yeah, you see how it works. Hundreds. It's gonna double your distance for you, which I think you need. All right, let me share this one. This is another good one. They all came in, by the way. So these are what we did today, I think. So kick off the wall.
He's doing pretty well. He's pretty deep,
Double
but he's
arm.
fast.
No double arm. Pull.
Right? If he'd be like 6 inches off the
All right, so top arm,
surface,
bottom
it'd be
arm,
even faster
kick.
to
Now
get
this
up
guy
to breathe.
swims like a
I don't think he did a
730
breaststroke
already.
pullout, did he?
So there's a lot.
You see where he came up to breathe? He still came up about that without the breaststroke pullout.
That I normally wouldn't
Kick
teach
off the wall.
someone who was using the
No
same
breaststroke
stroke and
pullout,
only
one
swimming
breath.
at
There you
like
go.
a
That's
930.
really good.
Like if you notice, he
So just hold that position. See
got
how
a
he's
decent
flat
glide
in the
there.
water?
One Mississippi,
Like
two
his
Mississippi pull,
top
but he
arm,
holds
bottom
a
arm, but
little
his
short.
feet are even with his
Used
head.
to do a little extra
For some
flutter
reason, your
kicking.
body
He uses a
position
big
has
double
your
arm
feet
or
like
a bottom
almost
arm
6
pull,
to
but
8
it's
inches
fast.
lower
I
than
mean,
your
that's
head.
a 44-second. Does that really easily.
He's doing pretty well. He's pretty deep, but he's fast.
So let's see. Let me try to get another one up here. Oh, we got another question here. But anyway, he's such a good swimmer, and he does it efficiently for his level of fitness that his PST scores are out of the off the charts. Uh, swimming sub 8 and running probably in the low 8s as well. So I'm not too concerned about critiquing things that are working for him unless it was really just a blatant energy loss. Um, it would be me being very nitpicky on him just to fix that something not that is not affecting him negatively. Look, if you're swimming sub 8 already and it's pretty efficient, I'm not going to yell at you for doing something wrong unless it's illegal, like a out of the water recovery. Do you know if I need to be in depth to go to MEPS? Yes, you do. The recruiter seemed like he wanted me to get into depth, but I know a guy who said depth was horrible, but I'm also not sure if it's a good idea. Well, you have to be in delayed entry program. Here's the deal. That's just the way it works, right? You're in the delayed entry program waiting for a ship date. So my advice is don't go to the recruiter until you're crushing a PST, right? If you can crush the PST, now you can start talking to a recruiter because you go into depth, you pick a rate that's not a spec ops rate. Let's say you pick Corpsman, right? And way it works is you go in depth, you go to MEP, you're in depth now. That means you've passed everything from the ASVAB to all the medic checks. Now you're cleared to take PSTs. Like you have to go through all that to be cleared to take PSTs. Then when you take PSTs, you have to pass that PST at the competitive level in order to no longer be a corpsman. Now you're an SO. That is the way it works. Some have let people like not pick a rate and just go take the PST. They crush the PST, then they're an SO. It doesn't really matter as long as you can crush that PST. But if you go there and you can't crush the PST, you better hope you have a long delayed entry program so you can eventually crush the PST and do a little more than just being in PST shape. You got to now be ready to get through buds. There's 2 phases that you need to be focused on more than DEP and MEPS. Those don't matter, right? They're going to happen anyway. But if you don't take time to crush the PST and you don't take time to work on longer swims, longer runs, load bearing activities, building your spine and your neck and your legs, you're not going to be able to pass 2-mile swims with pins and 4-mile timed runs and running around with boats on your heads and logs on your chest. There's a lot more to prepare for than just the PST. So when you ask questions like that, it makes me think you don't know what I just said. I could be wrong, but I deal with a lot of these type of questions, and they really come from someone who has done very little research in the process. So consider that when you're talking to a recruiter. My number one rule is be able to crush the PST before you even talk to a recruiter, because you're just wasting your time and his if you're telling them you want to go be a spec ops guy. I can't understand the motion during arm recovery. Always end up having them in front of me instead of touching me during the recovery. How should I think about the movement in order to get it? Yeah, your hand should be touching your body all the way up. So it will look like this. So you're going to go top arm, bottom arm, and my recovery is going to be like that. So my recovery is going to be right here versus out here. Because if you do this, that's just like putting on the brakes when you swim. Watch that Streamline article that I put in the comment section. Let's see, what intervals do you recommend for hill running days? I don't know. Depends on the hill you have. Some hills are really steep. Some hills are nice and steady. We have, I would say, somewhere in between nice and steady and really steep that goes up for a 1/4 mile. So our intervals are walking down that hill. That's your rest interval. Then you run back up it. What's about to say, I was not made to pick a rate and enter. Currently, I'm cleared to take PSTs and there's no contract. Um, yeah, you still had to get through MEPS though. And you're right, you don't have to pick a contract. They have been lightening up lightening up on that requirement over the last few years, but some still make you do it. In my mind, it doesn't really matter as long as you can go in there and crush that PST and you're no longer that rate you had to choose. Now you're an SO as long as you get a contract. Crush that PST and get a contract. How would you get used to transition on the breathing from turning in and out of the water? When I exhale, I'm not releasing the CO2 in time or enough really. If I'm doing this stroke here, I am exhaling at the kick, and by the time I finish my glide and turn my face out of the water, I have fully exhaled everything and now ready to inhale during that bottom arm pull, kick and glide. So start with the exhale at the kick. All right, let me show you this one. All right, so this one's a little bit all over the place. He actually has good timing on everything, but if you notice, he's relaxing too much, and look what happens to his feet. I mean, like his head's probably 8 inches above his feet right now. So he's swimming at this diagonal angle, which really is
the momentum off the wall was not
and
there.
it's not very streamlined. You want to try to look
the
like
kick looks a little sharper.
And even this right here, you know, his arms aren't quite over
trying to
his
see
head.
if you're like losing.
Straight.
Yeah, your
They're kind of at this
tight.
angled
Your
this
head's
way
staying down, your body
versus
position's better.
back here. So he's slowing
like
himself
right
down
here,
a lot, primarily
gotta
letting
really
his
kick
feet
off
drop.
that wall harder.
But he's got a good kick, top arm, bottom arm, kick, hold the glide. It's just slow. And I think when he glides, his legs, he's gotten better. His legs are not sinking as much now during the kick. So he's working on that core to keep his legs up a little more. Not bad. But
all right.
the problem we're having here is it's just really slow. As you can see, this is
there.
a minute to do 50
kick
yards,
looks a
and he's
little
about
sharper.
10 seconds off what I recommend people to be.
Trying to see if you're like
between
losing. Yeah, your
50
recovery's
and 54,
tight.
You're going to be in the
staying down. Your body
of
position's
9
better.
minutes, sub 9 minutes.
Just like right here,
8:30
gotta
to
really
9 minutes.
kick off that wall harder.
But we've worked a lot of things here. With the streamline has to be a little better. Even his arm recovery has to be a little better. Next time I have him swim, I'm going to have him.
Kick looks a little sharper.
You see his arm recovery here. It's gotten a lot better, but it's still out a little bit
see
away
if you're
from him.
Losing. Yeah, your
kind of curling
recovery's
that
tight.
bicep right
your
into
head's
the
staying
stroke.
down. Your body
Be
position's
a little
better.
tighter, like his elbows underneath him a little
Just like
more.
right here,
versus
gotta really kick off that wall harder.
In here, but that's kind of nitpicky. I think the biggest problem he has, he's the one that was doing the kickboard drill. We just got to work on his power kick. Make it a little more powerful so he moves. Because you see after he kicks, he doesn't really glide very far. And I think that's a combination of a weak kick and not great streamline. Some of these are a lot to unpack. All right, let's see. I went to MEPS without being in depth. Yeah, you go to MEPS then in depth. But that was also through an officer recruiter. Yeah, officers don't go into depth. I'm sure Stu is right for the enlisted ranks. You'll need to be in depth. But he is right. You should be fit and ready. Yeah, MEPS, you have to go to MEPS, but you don't go in depth as an officer. You just get an OCS date. But theoretically, you're approved to be in the Navy, to take those fitness tests. You're theoretically in depth. It's just you're just an officer. You're waiting to ship is all DEP is. You're just a recruit that has been fully cleared to join the military. Now you got to wait for that ship date. Like we have a guy right now who does not ship, has been in DEP since August and does not ship until June because that's when he graduates school. Then he ships right after he graduates. So that's why he's in DEP. And that's just basically a placeholder in that recruitment world pre boot camp or OCS. Or, yeah, pre boot camp. I think I heard you say that it's to get sets of 100 4-count flutter kicks and neck exercises for spec op prep. Wanted to make sure my memory is correct. Yeah, I mean, flutter kicks are something you will do. I remember, I mean, I did a lot of flutter kicks prior to it, but the one thing that I realized that I probably could have done more of is wet pants, boots, flutter kicks. When they're about 5 pounds heavier, 100 4-count flutter kicks get a lot harder. Not that it was something that was devastatingly difficult. It was something that I just didn't prepare for personally. Morning, Stu. Can you speak to the OAR requirements for Navy SEAL? I cannot. Yeah, I will be honest with you. That is not my wheelhouse. People tell me, hey, I scored this on the OAR. I'm like, great. Because you just need to do well on it. I mean, I'm sure that the requirements are on any board, maybe the SEAL SWCC officer section, but I really don't deal with that. It's like me teaching shooting. I don't teach shooting either. I don't teach martial arts. Focus on the fitness. I know a little bit about the administrative process, so I understand your question, but I wouldn't be able to tell the enlisted answer about the ASFAB other than what is said on the website. Sorry about that. All right, let me see if I got any other videos to share. Thought I had a couple more. All right, I'm going to show. I think I just showed that one. They're all out of order. Sorry. Yep, showed that one. All right, so let me show this one. No, damn it. Yeah, I think I've shown all of them today. Sorry about that. All right, so here's one. Let me do this one. Because I uploaded about 6 different videos.
It's fine. But if you
I'm not
notice,
sure
he
which
really
one this
kicked
one
off the
is.
wall fast.
We'll see.
So he's going to kick off the wall. Looks like he's adding the double arm pull.
Pretty good.
That's not necessary.
Kick and recover, top arm.
It's fine.
Bottom arm.
But if you notice, he really kicked off the wall fast.
Where's that glide?
He does a few extra little
Two
kicks,
Mississippi.
which I don't think he
could hold
needs.
a glide a little longer. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. Yeah, he's holding
it's a level of conditioning that you have to.
Could probably glide another second
build up to
off of the
so
wall.
I usually off of each stroke. Folks who are learning it just to take it out.
Yeah, I think I showed a different video of the same guy.
But if you want, you can try out a couple flutter kicks.
This guy's really good.
He
took out all the extra flutter kicks.
But anyway, yours was
and he tends to hold the glide a little bit in that lead arm, trail arm position. But once again,
he's going to kick off the wall. Looks like he's adding.
Who am I to judge? Let's see. Hey, Stu, good morning. Do you have any heart rate training with your local guys? We tend to. There's a lot of guys that have the Garmins and the Whoop bands. I used to train with the Whoop band a while back, and I'll be honest with you, I like the technology it has. I think it's good, but we don't get into it too much. We try to do everything, though. I will say this: we try to get everything in a lower heart rate zone, so we're better aerobic condition. And it is helpful to know your heart rate when you're putting out, know your heart rate when you do a goal pace run or swim, and then try to maintain that heart rate through the whole thing. So yes and no. We don't really rely on it as a major factor of our training. We're focusing on reps, on times, on weight moved, things like that, versus too much on the heart rate. However, if I see someone starting to struggle, we'll go in a little deeper and we'll focus on, hey, you need to work on your aerobic base a little more. Let's build that engine with some steady pace cardio, keep your heart rate down, and let's get some distance in, some extra cardio, whether it's impactful or non-impactful, and move from there. Hey Stu, do you think you can have a better streamline if your face is facing the bottom of the pool or not? Personally, for me, I feel my streamline if I'm facing the bottom of the pool. I personally am the same way. I like being face down, or sometimes I'll compromise and be like at a 45-degree angle. But when I'm like this on my side, I just feel really awkward. Be honest with you, I don't feel like I get a good arm pull, skimming the surface with it. I like to roll over and be a little deeper so I can grab that water, turn to breathe, kick and hold that glide, and roll over on my belly during that glide. So that gets me in that deep freestyle catch position, so I can go a little deeper with the pull. But I like being on my side when I do a scissor kick. So it kind of depends on what kind of kick you use, to be honest with you. I am on my side when I scissor kick, but I roll over on my belly for the arm pull. But if you're doing a breaststroke kick, you don't want to be on your side when you do a breaststroke kick. You want to turn to breathe and get back on your belly to do that breaststroke kick. So people who do breaststroke kicks are basically doing a freestyle breath with a breaststroke stroke, right? They're kicking and recovering just like they normally would with breaststroke. It's just and gliding. They're just, whenever they turn to breathe, they are turning to breathe on one side versus on both, up in the middle. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. You just have to find the one that works for you, that's efficient and fast, and the one that kind of works with your athletic history. I always tell this to people. If you spent your whole life running on land, chances are your scissor kick is going to be better developed than your breaststroke kick, right? If you spend a lot of time doing swimming, water polo, things like that, your breaststroke is probably really well developed and you can do a really solid, powerful breaststroke kick. Alex says, when I keep my head down and my chin down, touching my upper chest, and I get out for breathing, I am looking backwards. Yeah, you don't want to look backwards. From what I know, it is a bad sign. Am I doing it wrong? Yeah, no need to look backwards. Probably what's happening is whenever you do this turn, right, you're turning fine, but your bottom arm is over rotating you, and now you're going back like this, right? There's no need to have this big arm pull on the bottom that over rotates you. Now your chest is kind of opening up towards the ceiling. You're looking almost 45 degrees behind you versus 45 degrees in front of you. So I tend to turn this way, bottom arm, kick and hold that glide, and yeah, never look behind you. A lot of times I'll film these guys from behind just to see if I'm looking in their face from behind. And you can see some of them. In fact, let me see. Let me just pull up any one of them here. Looks like I shut down my Instagram. Let me see if I might have one that I can share with you guys. Let's see. Been having a hard time pulling up some of these videos for some reason. Let's see if this works this time. All right. So you guys see this? Okay, good. All right. So let's see what this looks like. Kick off the wall, double arm pull. Too many double kicks here. All right. So we got top arm, bottom arm, kick and glide. Not bad. If you notice here, he is sinking a little bit on the legs, especially when he brings his head up like this. He could turn to breathe a little more, but it's not horrible. Top arm, bottom arm, kick. It's just a little slow. Top arm, bottom arm, kick. Yeah, you see how his arms are way out away from his body when he does the recovery. So tighter arm recovery is needed in this one. But he's got a good kick. I mean, that thing's really producing some speed. I think his just streamline's a little weak, so it's slowing him down a little too much. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. But anyway, what I wanted to show you is I didn't film this. He sent this video in. But there's a couple of times when he's looking backwards, and you can see it. You can see it when he breathes. Like the guy's filming right next to his head, and you can see a couple times where he is looking behind the guy almost. That is not needed. So I'm not sure if that's a posture issue or just an over rotation issue. but his bottom arm is not causing it. I think if he had a big bottom arm pull, that bottom arm would just swing him all the way over to like he's almost on his back. All right. Oh, let's see. What's the biggest difference you see in guys that swim low 8s and low 7s? Well, low 7s are typically former swimmers. Very rarely do I get a non-swimming athlete breaking 730. I would say 90% of the time, the people that are swimming sub 7 or low 7s are former athletes. Swimming athletes, sorry. And any land athlete that can break 8 minutes is probably an above average land athlete swimmer. Okay. And by the way, 8 minutes on a 500, if you look at competitive scores in something similar like breaststroke, you know, most competitive swimmers are swimming 800 meters in the time we swim 500 meters, right? At our fastest, like an 8-minute 500 is, some guys are swimming 8-minute 800s, right? To do in competitive swimming. So just understand that. So it's not necessarily a world-class effort. It's just really getting a good, powerful kick and a tight streamline. I would say number 1 and number 2, those are the 2 most important things. In fact, I even wrote an article, most important swim Stu Smith. Let's see. Most important articles and videos to watch to learn the CSS. And one of them is streamline body position. And the other one is really the sequence: top arm, bottom arm, breathe, kick. One of those things is going to be the next thing that makes you faster. So check out this article. That may answer your question a little better, because number 1 is streamline. I've seen guys with really small, weak, low effort kicks be low 8 minutes with a tight streamline. Some of the folks that I label perfect on the CSS videos, like the ones on my TikTok or Instagram reels, if I label it perfect CSS, it's because they have perfect streamline. Nothing else. It helps to have good timing of the stroke, the pull, the breathe, the kick, the glide, and all that needs to be, tuned nicely. But if you have a poor streamline, I don't care how good your kick and pull and conditioning is, it's going to slow you down significantly. Is the advanced combat side stroke worth learning? I've never heard of it as advanced. I don't know. Is there a beginner combat side stroke? I'm not sure. I mean, do you consider what I'm showing right now the advanced combat side stroke? Because I don't know. I've never used the term advanced. Here's what I know. There's the elementary side stroke. That is the old bottom arm, top arm, grab an apple and you glide in this position. And then there's the top arm, bottom arm, kick and glide in this position for the CSS. So there's the elementary side stroke and there's the CSS, which I've seen called the combat side stroke. Originally, it was called the combat swimmer stroke back in the 90s. So I'm not sure what you're naming when you say advanced. If there's another level of the combat side stroke that I'm not teaching, I don't know it. So maybe mine is the advanced version versus the elementary version. I don't know. So give me a definition there, Christian, because I'm unsure of your terminology. I don't have any more videos to share. We're about to wind up this little show there. If Christian answers that question, that'd be helpful. I'm going to put this up here. If I missed your question, You can always email me, stu@stusmith.com. If some question pops up in your head while we're in the middle of the day, just email me, stu@stusmith.com. You can DM me as well or respond to the video comment section. Once this video posts, you can do that. You can also go to StuSmithFitness.com, search some articles, find some answers for yourself. Google your question with my name in it. I may have written an article about it that may help you specifically or generally at least. And if you have more specific question, obviously ask that specific question. Happy to answer it. Send me a video. Happy to critique it. But yeah, go to check out StuSmithFitness.com. You'll see a ton of options there for training, whether it's books like these, Crushing the PST, or if you're more of a beginner and you just need to start off with a calisthenics and cardio cycle, that's a great one to start off with. In fact, I've seen people start off with the calisthenics and cardio cycle and wind up doing really well on the PST because they did that cycle first. So it's a good starting plan if you're new to calisthenics and cardio. I was watching a video and they called it the advanced, when your bottom arm pull is half and it increases the amount of strokes but increases speed. I don't know. I teach a lower stroke count, so the bottom arm pull doesn't have to be very big. Your top arm pull is half in the elementary stroke, but in the CSS it is full, like a freestyle arm pull. So I've never used that terminology as advanced. All I've used is there's the elementary side stroke that you can use for a PST. There's the breaststroke that you can use for the PST. And there's the CSS, often called combat side stroke or combat swimmer stroke. I've never put the word advanced into it. Otherwise, it'd be the ACSS. Maybe there is an advanced version. I don't know. But compared to the elementary, yeah, it's advanced. But I've just never used that term, advanced combat side stroke, because that would imply there's a beginner combat side stroke, which I don't think there is. There's an elementary side stroke. So therein lies the confusion. Everybody has their own little twist on this stroke. I have a way to teach it that produces a lot of 8-minute flat swimmers that have never swum before. And then you apply it to wearing scuba fins, and you can swim 2 miles in the ocean with fins in 70 minutes, which is 15 to 20 minutes underneath the, if you can get it 65 to 70, that's 15 to 20 minutes under the minimum standard for first phase buds. Not hard to do, but you got to practice the technique and you got to get in shape for it. Those are the two most important things. Is there a way I can send you a video? Yes. You can DM me on Instagram, StuSmith50, or you can email me, stu@stusmith.com. In fact, you can see my email pop up right here, stu@stusmith.com, on this little scroll right here. That's how I spell it. All right, folks, I got to run. I appreciate your time. You guys hit that like button if you stuck around. Also use Live15. You save 15% over at StuSmithFitness.com if you buy any programs that will help you with many of these questions, like what do I do? How many times do I swim a week? How many times do I run a week? How many push-ups do I do? Do I do them daily? It'll tell you right in those things. All right, folks, I'll see you later. Have a good one.